Last year, homicides cost taxpayers at least $155 million. Shootings are costly emotionally, of course, to friends and family, but financially as well to taxpayers, with a price tag of $900,000 a death. In 2020, we had a record-breaking year of homicides in Louisville, 173 deaths total. The National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform says this growing homicide rate cost Louisville taxpayers at least $155 million last year alone. Elle Smith tells us how you are paying more in taxes each time there's another shooting.
A new report is estimating that each homicide costs nearly $1 million for each taxpayer in Louisville. The officials I spoke to today were not surprised. They said this showcases how the violence is impacting everyone in the community, emotionally, mentally, and now, as we're learning today, financially. $900,240. That's the number the National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform is estimating each homicide per suspect cost taxpayers in Louisville. The report breaks down the cost of violence into 6 areas: crime scene response, hospital and rehabilitation, criminal justice, incarceration, victim support, and lost tax revenue. Today, WHS 11 spoke with local officials to get their response.
It's not a surprise. I think that we have been paying for the wrong things in this country and in this community for a very long time.
Sadiqa Reynolds, president and CEO of the Urban League, said the key to reducing the amount of homicides and the cost associated is to invest in prevention and to address the root causes.
If the Urban League could decide, I would beg our community leaders to invest as much as humanly possible in affordable housing. And quite frankly, for right now, we do have to have some intervention programs.
In the past 5 years, Louisville has had an average of 116 homicides per year. The report says if Louisville could reduce its gun violence rate by just 20%, that would result in savings of $62.8 million every year.
Every taxpayer is paying for this. Every time we spend money on somebody who's incarcerated, is taking money away from other resources.
Thomas Wine, the elected Commonwealth attorney in Jefferson County, and Reynolds both see that prevention is the best route.
Prevention is always cheaper than the cure.
But Wine is concerned with how to tackle the notion of prevention. He says it needs to be similar to a relay race, funding prevention, but also continuing to fund the costs associated with homicides on the back end.
You just can't take $900,000 or $400,000 out of the process right now and put it on the front end. Those cases are there. Those homicides have been committed. We have to take and prosecute those cases.
The report goes on to say officials in Louisville and Jefferson County should consider even greater upfront investments in gun violence reduction efforts. In Louisville, I'm Elle Smith for WHAS 11 on your side.
According to data from the FBI, homicides in the U.S. increased nearly 30% in 2020. This is the largest one-year jump since the FBI started keeping those records. And according to Everytown Research, these shootings cost the country upwards of $280 billion. That's about $860 a person in the U.S. Another concerning number, the cost of total medical care for these victims. $3.5 billion are spent in the U.S. on medical care for shooting victims. That includes immediate care, long-term care, ambulance costs, and more.